This morning is the San Diego City Council race in District 1. The district has been represented since 2008 by Sherry Leitner, mechanical engineer by training, now seeking her second term, and businessman Ray Ellis is running against her for the nonpartisan office. Ray is a Republican, Leitner's a Democrat. Whoever wins will give their respective party a 5-member majority on the 9-member City Council. And thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Just by way of background, Mr. Ellis finished first in the primary election with a 4-point margin over Ms. Leitner in a 4-way race. It's been 2 decades since a challenger has taken a council incumbent to a runoff with a plurality. The other 2 candidates in that race have since endorsed Ms. Leitner, and we will start with you.
Yes.
In that running for re-election and appearing on in venues like this is interviewing to how would you like to characterize your resume from your first 4 years in office?
I've delivered on my promises that I made in 2008. I have brought the neighborhoods to City Hall. We've restored fiscal stability to the city of San Diego. When I started, if you recollect, we had a $200 million deficit, and we've gone through a period of reduced services, but we're back to getting them online again. We need to continue the pension reform, created the water policy, created the Economic Development and Strategies Committee, and we can talk about those in more detail because I know you're limiting talking points today. And as far as your intro, I won in 2008, outspent 10-1. So I'll take your wager.
You flip that script. You'll take that wager.
I'll take your wager any day.
Well, that's going against the tide of statistics, but that's why we love politics, right?
Yes.
Ray, you are vying for this job. What are you going to bring to the table if elected, and problems, if any, with Ms. Leitner's record?
Well, I've got a very successful business career behind me. I've spent the last 6 years just doing volunteer work, community service work. I view this as a continuation of that. That's why I've decided not to take a pension. My wife and I have decided to donate the salary back to the community. I want to bring my leadership skills, my willingness to collaborate and work with others on tough issues. I served, as you know, as the Vice President and President of the Pension Board at the request of Mayor Sanders, producing tremendous reforms, saving taxpayers millions of dollars on my service on the board, and I want to bring some of that, coupled with my job creation abilities. I started a small business 25 years ago with only 4 employees and grew it to several hundred employees, so I know about job creation, and we need that in San Diego, and I want to bring those skill sets to City Council.
We know a lot of eyes are on this race because it will tip the balance of power, at least from a partisan standpoint. And, you know, accepting, generally speaking, public safety, a lot of council policy decisions do divide along the lines of progressive versus conservative. Who backs the unions? Who backs the business community? From time to time, you have gone against the grain of your party affiliation. And you, sir, I don't know the extent to which you can take the same kind of thing. To what extent are we going to see bipartisanship, or to what extent are we going to see 5-4 votes if you are elected or versus you elected?
Hopefully we don't see 5-4 votes. It should be a consensus built for the entire City Council to come to 9-0 votes. My community background was such that a lot of folks didn't know what party I was a part of, and that is very important. Yes, I have taken votes that quote-unquote don't figure, but at the same time, it is because I'm an engineer. I do look at the details. I do look at what the outcome for the city will be, and I care very much about my communities, making sure that they are well represented going forward. It's something that is my passion. It is why I ran, and I think that we have enough problems in this city without getting into bipartisan snarking.
Or partisan, yeah. On that basis.
I apologize. I get the words wrong sometimes.
I like the word snarking, though. That's a polite way of saying a lot of stuff that goes on. Ray, your thoughts on this dynamic?
Well, I've made a very conscious effort from the very beginning to stay out of the partisan fray. I believe, as the council member in District 1, my priority will be being a good steward for taxpayer dollars, creating value for taxpayers so that we can not only take the neighborhoods to City Hall, as Ms. Leitner said, but just as importantly, we need to take those hard-earned taxpayer dollars back to our communities, back to our neighborhoods, fix our streets. We've reduced our services tremendously, and we need to restore those, but we need good fiscal management. We need people that know how to collaborate, and I'm so proud to have such a wide range of bipartisan support. Mayor Sanders endorsed us yesterday. Nathan, your next guest, a very prominent independent in our community. Malin Vernon, another independent. Irwin and Joan Jacobs are supporters. Prominent Democrats. Dick Atkinson, the ex-chancellor of the University of California system, is a supporter. So I'm very proud to have that. Plus, the business community has gotten squarely behind us. We've received every endorsement in that area.
And briefly, just before we go to a break, and I know I've covered this story doing a preview on it, but you two are in agreement as to the advisability of an 800-megawatt power plant right across Interstate 805, essentially from
Absolutely. When we heard about it, I think that's the last time I spoke with you, was about the community meeting we were having about it, and I was vehemently opposed from the get-go. We know the military is not too happy with it. We know definitely the community is not, and irrespective of what sales and property tax might come into the city, it would also have an extremely negative effect on the nearby residential and commercial properties.
Non-starter for you too.
Ms. Leitner and I are in exact opinion on that. Wrong for the environment, wrong for the community, wrong for the businesses, and wrong for our military.
Okay, we'll leave it at that, and we will come back, see where swords may cross, bring up that discussion after a short break. And still ahead, Nathan Fletcher, nearing